The book Buyology explores the psychology behind what drives us to consume. Author, branding advisor, and marketing expert Martin Lindstrom reveals the subconscious forces that motivate us to choose one brand over another.
Let's face it, we're exposed to so many brands every day. Coca-Cola ads, Tiffany ads, everything from Swiss wrinkle creams to car ads, it's bombarding us every day. But how come some of this information goes straight into our brain and hit our subconscious mind? And how come sometimes it just passes away, we can't remember a thing? I wanted to find out. This is the reason why I conducted the largest neuromarketing study in the world. We scanned 2,000 consumers' brains, spending $7 million on finding out what really goes on in our brain. And the results were interesting. In fact, a little bit scary too. Take a look at this. Health warnings on cigarette packs are mandatory. Surgeon General's warning, you know it, right? Or what about the European versions like stopping smoking reduces the risk of fatal heart and lung diseases? You got the point? Across Asia, they're even more dramatic. You have pictures of lungs and open heart surgeries on the pack. That's how nasty they are. But do they work? Well, in fact, when we take a look at the numbers, the answer is no. In fact, from 2003 to 2006, we smoked 13% more, the same as 15 billion cigarettes every day, or 10 million cigarettes every minute. How come? What's the truth behind this? We wanted to find out. So we recruited smokers from across the world, placed them in huge scanners, and exposed them to those health warnings. We looked into an area called the nucleus accumbens. It's also called the craving spot or the pleasure zone. When you're addicted to alcohol, to drugs, to gambling, or to cigarette smoking, you'll actually see the nucleus accumbens fire up like a fireball. And what we learned was shocking. The fact is that those health warnings have absolutely no effect on our brain whatsoever. In fact, the total opposite was taking place. When people were watching those health warnings lying in the scanners, the nucleus accumbens were actually activated. They were certainly encouraged to want to smoke even more. Ever wondered why you squeeze a lime down the bottleneck of a Corona beer whenever you drink it? Is it A, because it's a ritual from 1800 something in Mexico? Or is it B, because supposedly there's so many flies in Mexico that this is the way you clean the bottleneck? Or is it C, a story developed by two bartenders in 1981 in California to see how fast a ritual can spread around the world? If you guessed C, you're right. This is branding. Branding is much more than just a logo. Think about the Coca-Cola bottle. The bottle, which was invented in 1915, had a very interesting brief behind it. The briefing was to develop a bottle design which is so recognizable that if you drop it on the floor and it smashes into thousands of pieces of glass, I can still pick up one piece of glass and recognize the brand. My question to you is, can I smash your brand? Meaning, can I own a color, or a shape, or a sound, whatever it is, because that is true branding. After years of studying product rituals and their effect on branding, it struck me. Are there similarities between the way our brains react to religious and spiritual symbols and the way they react to products and brands? The answer is yes. I interviewed 14 prominent leaders from various religions across the world, and what I discovered was that despite the differences, almost everyone has 10 common pillars underlying their foundation. A sense of belonging, a clear vision, power from the enemy, sensory appeal, storytelling, grandeur, evangelism, symbols, mystery, or rituals? And just as I suspected, these pillars have to have a great deal in common with our most beloved brands and products. A few examples. What about Harley-Davidson? The owners have their own subculture. It's a definite sense of belonging. Apple has had the same vision over the last 20 years to create products that will truly change the world. Disney, I think, is a great example of storytelling. You can't think about Disney without thinking of its colorful characters. In our brain scan study of some of the world's most smashable brands, we discovered that consumers did in fact have similar brain patterns as those of a religious experience when associated with a brand they really believed in. Up until now, most marketeers and advertisers haven't really known what drives our behavior or our preferences. But now that we know that 85% of our consumer buying habits are unconscious, by understanding our unconscious habits, we can gain a better control of what we buy as consumers and what we produce as companies. Good luck with your journey into your biology. I hope you enjoy my book.